Hello everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful day. As I promised, I bring you the Sunday Lightline. Today we had an excellent Lightline, very informative. I recommend it to everyone. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for listening. And just want to comment, you can always go to the website to find a transcript there at a later time if you wish. And I have not included the Q&A. It was not very relevant to this Lightline. You can go on the website to listen to that over there. It was going for about 20 minutes. So here we go.
Welcome everybody. This is the Sunday USA Lightline for January 16th, 2022. I'm Ron Besser, your host, with my co-host Phyllis Simpson. Today we are going to attempt to explain the unexplainable. I am now in contact with the deity Absolute, and I welcome you, deity Absolute, and we're ready to transmit you if you wish. We do, Ron, and thank you. I want you all to understand that the temptation that Ron has gotten into has taken it on so fully and so seriously, he worries about living until tomorrow. He has been told over and over, it's not going to happen, Ron. But the fact of the matter is the human mind is attached to the human body. And the human body to Ron is saying, I'm done for. I cannot maintain comfortably your life. Others of you on this meeting today have recently gone through Omicron, which is an influenza, truly, and not COVID. COVID is a retrovirus, and a retrovirus has to kill its host to replicate. Omicron replicates through the atmosphere and does not require a body to produce spores. If your science ever figures it out, good for them. But in the meantime, their treatment is not good. With the present shots designed for COVID, a retrovirus, and you're trying to kill Omicron, which is an influenza, based on the 1919 to 1920 pandemic that massacred far many more millions than COVID is killing today. Please try to remember this, but don't argue with your doctor. Ask them, could this be an influenza instead of a retrovirus? Now this. Now that we have cleared the air with that, Ron, listen to this particularly for you. The truth of the matter is that no one can repair a human body, even with a miracle. I do not know if the life carriers intended that, but that is what has happened to millions of you that should be repaired because you are all dedicated to working with God for His success. I am the deity Absolute. I really have nothing whatever to do with the repair of humanity. A distant level of life I cannot even see, even when I try to. That's the problem of high status. The higher you go in spirit, the less you can see the little crumbs that are the life on a material planet. We do not mean to insult your life with that. But the life of deity, particularly on the ring of infinity, is so high and so well versed in causes that it doesn't view the local universe's life of humanity at all. We now tell you this. For reasons of state, Ron, you have been hit hard again in the last 72 hours with promises of nothing but death. That's how you feel it. That's how you live it. And thanks to your friend who visits once in a while, it lightens the burden. The truth is, your friend needs a little medical attention himself. But that's a different situation. Now this. I am speaking from the point of view of the Ring of Infinity, Ron. The truth of the matter is that you are suffering what Donna felt with Omicron. Extreme lethargy, the inability to clear your mind, and only the ability to know that the end is approaching quickly. That must be stopped because it erodes the vitality of your heart. And for that reason, you are often put to sleep rather than to let you stay awake and worry so deeply. It is for that reason, Ron, that we are going to say this to the rest of them, and maybe you can take it well too. No one can supply additional life when the mitochondria, that's the bone marrow, tells the body you've reached the limits. Mitochondria, the bone marrow, is a gift of your mothers. Fathers do not gift it to you. Your mother, Ron, had a lifespan of 92 years. She died suddenly, quickly, and remorsefully. She will never entirely be secure without knowing that you do not have to face what she faced. And for that reason, let me tell you this. The bone marrow that was passed to you, Ron, was an adjudication between of a lifespan of about 102 to a lifespan of perhaps 71. It was adjusted down to age 72 primarily because we foresaw that life on Urantia is hardly worth living by the time you reach that age. But you turned around and did something unheard of. You said to Munjarinson, I accept your invitation. I wish to join the magisterial missions, and I wish to go as long as I may in service. Munjarinson then asked the deity absolute, what can we do to preserve this individual? The deity absolute said, you have to adjust the mitochondria. In 2010, that was adjusted. In 2014, it was removed. In 2020, it was replaced. in 2022, 2 days ago, it was removed. What does the body do with all those extreme changes? Well, it doesn't do anything but react physically. And Ron, like you, Donna, feel those symptoms. Ron doesn't have the virus. You had Omicron for sure. Now this. For that reason, Ron, the entire spectrum of what has been invented, what has been done, and what will be done in your name will continue. You, however, Ron, cannot continue in these conditions. For that reason, we are going to call a spade and bring you home. For that reason, you will not see the outgrowth of WTP or any other cause unless you are reinstated. We will reinstate you. This time, as you've heard before, but this is slightly different, with a morontial body that has all the appearance of physicality, but has no such feeling to produce the physicality of the human life in physical form. For that reason, Ron, the last 3 days have been hell, and that is a revision of your cells to normal human cells. It is very painful. For that reason, the cabal, the insurrection, and even elements of the Lucifer rebellion have agreed to stand back, except for a few very truant individuals, and they are removed. We now look at it this way. Your life forces, which are quite strong, will continue. Your physicality will remain as you are right now. The marks and bumps on you with age will be removed. As you say, your vanity is secure. Now this. For that reason, the Michael regime of Salvington has agreed with the Paradise regime of absolutes to determine who is in charge of your physicality on Urantia. The truth of the matter is, Ron, you prefer Michael and Salvington. And the truth is, that is what has been assigned to Michael and Salvington. However, this morning, he gave you a dictation you cannot accept. And he knows why, and you know why. But the truth of the matter is that it is the correct control of what you must learn and do, Ron. You have no objection to who takes credit for anything, and we know that. But Michael stated it in such a term as to push you back without any satisfaction or acknowledgement of participation. You said it is useless for me to go through all this and then you wish nothing to show for humanity. Michael looked at it again and said, "You're right. That's the old Michael." For that reason, Ron, you are to participate as long as he has a pleasure of allowing you to do it. And for that reason, you will go, we think, for a nice long time without putting a number on it. The truth of the matter is your friend, Dominic, will become an adjutant if he is able to secure the thinking that it takes to become an adjutant. That is your request of God. That is your request of Dominic and any other who can join you in the Magisterial Foundation as bonded so that they can almost act as they were you. What an odd request, but a beautiful one. To do that, we need to proceed carefully. You have been through 3 days of hell, Ron. This is the 4th. By the 6th such day, you should be clear of it. The truth of the matter is you thank the wrong person, but you thank me in the name of all. I do so. Thank you. Now this, I do not make any comment whatsoever, Ron, how you will come out of this. And the truth of the matter is, despicable me and the truants in that are nowhere close to what you will appear. But you find the movie extremely funny, and it is. In any case, the truth of the matter is, you will straighten out in time to enjoy your patent. That patent is being passed as we speak, even though it's Sunday. They work 24/7. And for some reason or other, the lead attorney, not Ream, but the one in the U.S. Patent Office says, thank God somebody has the smarts to figure this out. We are in a desperate situation on Urantia. Of course, he doesn't use the word Urantia. In any case, the patent will be issued probably in about 3 more weeks. It takes that long to do the processing. And when it is finally published, we think you will be inundated with questions. Stand back. Let the questions accumulate. And finally issue to everyone with one paper your answers. I do understand. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Now this to all of you who work with Ron. The Planning Commission will receive a paper from Ron, what Dominic has been asked to do, and please do it, Dominic, to evaluate the possibility of crowd, whatever you call it, to look for outside donations and money to provide resources for the demo. If that is done well, it can be extremely successful, Dominic. Do your best work. Ron's got to find a way to fund it. But let's cross the bridges as we have to. And he thanks me for supporting it. He was not sure he had support, but he does. Dominic, what we need is an evaluation of how to put to the public an advertisement to donate to a new technology to prove it. Look at all your resources and see what works best. A lot of snappy comment has to be written, though, and let Ron do that. He's very good at it. Now this. We are going to place you, Phyllis, in control for the next moments that you need to do a transmission to the USA Lightline today. Ron has to go to the door. When he gets back, he will let you know, and then pass it back to him. So, Phyllis, are you there?
Yes.
All right. I'm the deity absolute. I'm speaking for Ron to you. You've got a transmission from Tarkus next. Continue directing the USA Lightline today until Ron can get back.
Understood.
All right. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, deity absolute. Apologies for my voice. Go ahead, Tarkus. Thank you, Phyllis. This is Tarkus. And once again, it is, of course, my pleasure to be on the Lightline, speaking to all of you and welcoming you all once again into our presence, where we can convey our thoughts and intentions to you and create that connection that is so vital to yourselves and to us in our joint effort to bring the will of the Father to pass on this planet, Urantia, and to make these missions come to a place of fruition for that will that Father has so graciously sent forth to the minds and the hearts of all of us to work together and assume the tasks and responsibilities that each of us are given along the way according to our skills and our abilities. You know, you've been told in the Urantia book that most of you have read that when you give to the Father all that you are and all that you have, He will enable you to be more than you ever imagined possible. And He will exponentially increase abilities as we join together in our efforts to bring to pass all that the Father has willed to come to this beleaguered planet and to reveal Himself as He so desires to be revealed in and through the many circumstances that continue to give themselves over to the will of the Father as He sees fit to deal with each and every one. Yes, at times in and through ourselves as his spirit representation, but also through each and every one of you as little sons of God, where you learn through your life experiences to cooperate with your thought adjusters and bring into play each of your unique personality giftings that Father has so thoughtfully bestowed upon each one of you. You are unique in your personality gifting for a reason and for a purpose. And cooperating with your thought adjusters, which is your Father fragment within each of you, is the enablement in that joint effort of bringing you all into one with the will and the ways of the Father. One moment, please. Excuse me, that fellow's just trying to clear my voice. Go ahead, Tarkus. Yes, once again, this is Tarkus. And we've got Phyllis in the place where her voice is in no mood to cooperate. But it is staying the course. There is always a way, regardless of circumstances that are extenuating and constantly changing for each of us in the spirit and for each of you in the material. Very often there is not an obvious or quick solution, but there are always ways and means if one will go the extra mile, or what seems to be the extra mile, to uncover these ways and means. For very often what it has to do with is opening yourselves to possibilities and potentials that you are not currently aware of or have not yet simply been revealed to a mortal on this planet. This is an opportunity for discovery for each of you, of course, in your growth and your experiential journey to become as the Father himself. But this is also an opportunity to better solidify your contact with the spirit world. For as you can see, even such high spirits as the deity absolute himself will reveal that which needs to be known at the right time and to the right individuals. But those individuals, such as yourselves, must be in a place to be open and receptive and accepting of the information that is provided to you and the opportunities that are laid before you and the path which you may take. And very often that path seems to be veering in a direction that not only were you not expecting, but there is most oftentimes a great hesitancy on the part of the human contact to even fully acknowledge spiritually gifted information, let alone to follow up on that invitation and be persistent and consistent in your pursuit in the discovery of what is being given to you, why it is being given to you, and what the expectations are on your part going forward. That is not to say that you will be given all of the answers at the time or the moment that you believe you need them or you believe they are required. But those answers will be given to you when you consistently persist in what you have received and walk forward in your faith and trust of the connection with the Father and his representatives that you have been given. There is timing involved, there is growth involved, and there is expectations to be met. When each of you fully consider this, you can always come to the place within yourselves where you can choose to believe that an opportunity has presented itself, and though it was unexpected, it can be gratefully received and followed up upon. And these are such times as possibilities and potentials are being gifted to those who will seek, those who will listen, and those who will follow up in cooperation with their adjusters, using your Father-gifted, unique personality and walking in accordance with the guidance that is being provided to you.
I'm here, Phyllis.
Okay. I feel that was the end of my transmission. Tarkus, was there anything else? No, Phyllis, that is the fullness of what I wanted to interject at this point in time, heightening everyone's awareness of potentials and possibilities, and that they are there for each and every one who will reach out and stay the course and be open to Father's will. Thank you for taking this transmission. Thank you, Tarkus, for making that so clear to our awareness. Ron, whenever you are ready, did you want me to check and see if I have anyone else, or you can go ahead with continue your transmission?
I'll take it back, Phyllis. And thank you so much for standing in. And thank you, Tarkus. Thank you. Thank you very much. Amazon is happy that I will have a dry package now. And, of course, that interrupted the entire Lightline, but the package is safe. Now this. The truth of the matter is that I am now back in contact with the Deity Absolute, and the Deity Absolute wishes to transmit the following. Hello, everyone. I am truly the Deity Absolute in a much closer liaison than I was with my initial discussion with you at the beginning of this Lightline. Ron also brought up a very serious question that the universe presupposes everybody in the universe knows, but never addresses. Therefore, many do not understand how the universe works, particularly when we have the human resource added to the divine. You're all looking forward to the return of Jesus, the second return. Jesus has had nothing but problems in getting any liaison work with humanity together at all to recognize him. For that reason, he has acquiesced in what Ron has done to shake the tree and to at least have some of you anticipating his second return. It is for that reason, then, that Ron asked this question and got a rebuttal. He's still not sure what it means. The question goes like this: Jesus, now that we have prepared the way for you, where do you want us to stand? And Jesus replied, and this is Jesus, I will answer for myself, deity absolute. I want Ron to stand with me. He is my apostle. I will call upon others to be my apostles too. But they must prove themselves. Ron is trying to bring Dominic as his first trainee into the space that is so rare. Its core consists of only 200 people. The Master Universe apprises all who serve with a bestowal son as an apostle or whatever other title the bestowal son wishes to provide them, a place to be when their time on earth is done and over with the bestowal mission itself. Ron is the only one, so far, to apprise this space for himself. He doesn't want to be alone. He wants others he can train to stand with him in that core. He admonishes Jesus he is not worthy of an apostleship. We agree, but not until proven, are you an apostle? I am Jesus, and I have said to my apostles, I am your teacher, I am your brother, I am also representing your God. Only one of us must represent God, not you, apostles. Michael told Ron this morning, do all you want, but Jesus takes credit. Ron has always said that Jesus is first and has full credit. But he dislikes the idea of dismissing the human contribution to a successful Jesus or bestowal son entirely. He doesn't ask to be recognized, nor will you, to be an apostle. But you will be recognized by a title that provides you the same status as Peter and the other apostles held when Jesus walked the earth in the flesh. For that reason, I want it to be known that the truth of the matter is that Ron has paid the price over and over without complaint. He makes sure that unless we direct otherwise, we receive the appropriation of originating and supplying the help. For that reason, Ron has said, I give to you even the ownership of that help for $1, because the law requires it. We said thank you and went on our merry way. But suddenly, we've got a little problem in that the deity absolute says to Jesus, if you do not own the magisterial foundation, Jesus, the appropriate reaction is for Ron. Ron has said to Jesus, get me the paper to sign and I give you the magisterial foundation in your name legally. We thought that was sufficient. But it is not according to the divinity of God that must always prevail. For that reason, Ron, the magisterial foundation is no longer entirely yours. Anyhow, you know that. But for reasons of state, we are buying it for $1, and we direct you what we want. The curious thing is, from the first day that the magisterial foundation existed, Ron has said, this is yours, God. When you're ready, sign the papers and it is yours. We didn't believe him, but now we do. He's now set up another corporation called the Racing Corporation, which we said to Ron, you must own, because it deals with money, commission, property, and a lot of other permissions legally that must not come back to the divine with complaint from the public. Ron, you must take the complaint. And Ron says, I will. Do as you wish, Father. I am not questioning whatever process you wish to achieve with these things. For that reason, Ron, the Racing Corporation remains yours. You got to take the heat. We will donate resources to the Magisterial Foundation. And the Magisterial Foundation, the divine, will donate to the Racing Corporation, the profane, that digs the earth to put the cable in and plants a building on top of it to generate wireless electricity. That is foreseen and done. What Ron doesn't know, and what we have just learned, is that the consummators of universe destiny also believe that the Racing Corporation, while profane, partakes of the divine and must be insulated with a public trust. Ron started the work with the attorneys on Friday, decided it was too heavy to go into at that point, and put it aside. Now we learn that the individual that he wishes to hire as that attorney is non compos mensa. That is, he is unwisely and profanely involved with the right-wing conspiracy. Oh, my Lord. Yes, Ron. Thank you for warning me. Thank you. Now this. For that reason, Ron, you are to redo your search and find something, even if it's out of state, to obtain the proper corporation work that you need immediately. Do not be concerned about names to place into it. Let the attorney come up with the proper vehicle, and we will place the names into it for you. Now this. I have been contemplating Ron's attitude toward this, and it is open and ready to receive. He can't make up these instructions because he doesn't know what they are. The truth of the matter is, we are not sure what they should be. Ron's going to have to be his usual clever self to see ways through the maelstrom that the attorney is going to tell him about. Number one, a public trust requires that the public own it, and that they are the ones who fulfill the executive areas of direction. That is not admissible, and Ron knows that. But he also knows that he must make the public heirs to the ownership of the magisterial foundation and any other subsidiary corporations. For that reason, then we have an additional problem. Anyone he places in the directorship or in the executive affiliations with the subsidiary corporations, which includes the Racing Corporation, now have to be assigned those legalities that seal their use against the magisterial foundation for any reason. For that reason, Ron, we are no longer considering the Racing Corporation other than a charitable, profane institution, and that the magisterial foundation itself must be withdrawn out of the profane and into the divine. And in effect, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes the new Urantia Foundation as a comparison. That has not been required of the present Urantia Foundation, but Ron is adamant that the new Urantia Foundation, called the Magisterial Foundation, be led as its executive directorship under the direct administration of the divine, the Salvington sovereign, Michael of Nebadon. For that reason today, Michael says to Ron, if I do that, then you, Ron, are no longer possible as its director. Ron says, fine, I resigned that months ago in favor of being the voice of God. And that is totally respectful and accepted, Ron. that you speak what the magisterial foundation wishes and to put it into effect administratively. This is not hard language for you to understand, but a few of you are saying, oh, for God's sake, why must we hear this? You hear it because if you are going to be a logical part of the magisterial foundation and represent the magisterial missions as well, then you are a natural part of understanding this. If you do not, you will be assigned elsewhere. Ron would prefer that you accept the bond between him and you individually as though you could act in his place. Dominic is learning how to do that. It's not easy. Some of you will fall away. Such is the cost of doing business representing what the divine missions on Urantia have to achieve. Listen to this tape a couple times if you wish to follow the reasoning that we are placing Ron in a category that is never been done before. He accepts the direct as the voice of God and not as an office. We are the office. Ron is the voice. You are the apostles. I hope you understand that. I am the deity absolute, and Ron, you do beautiful work. It's not hard to follow. Try to get it. You will have to become corporate leaders, regardless of what you feel about corporations, because they are the legal history for any real event, from government down to Xerox. Now let us go to something a little less hard on your craniums. Lemuel. Just a minute, I try to find you, unmute you here. Okay, you hear me, Lemuel?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, and you are now unmuted. Everybody
Yes.
can hear you. I think we have some deity or other that would like to speak through you. Would you mind taking the transmission?
Yes, of course. Fine, thank you.
Well, go ahead when you're ready, and thank you.
Mm. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Well, this is Lemuel. I do not have a name, but no, because I'm not giving you my name. It is not necessary. I am simply one of high status. This is all I will say. And yes, I would like to say something quite simple, but something you are aware of, and that is the need for all of you, bearing in mind what you've just been informed throughout the last more than a half an hour on this Lightline. The importance of all of you, individually as well as collectively, coming coming to a determination in your own mind of how far you want to go. What is your own individual goal? Have you set yourself a goal? If your mind is closed to anything further than what you are already doing, then obviously nothing extra will come into your mind to invigorate you to doing other things. But if you open your minds, your thought adjusters will give you the idea, will give you those thoughts that you may grasp or refuse. So I'm here to encourage all of you, do not close your mind to possibilities now. Because the potential for all of you is unknown. You do not know your own potential. Those of you who are really bogged down, for example, in a certain way with relationships, well, perhaps there's very little that you can do. But that also depends what your heart wants and not what your mind dictates. Does it not? You all have the potential of participating in something that may never ever be repeated throughout the whole of the Master Universe. The situation here on this beautiful blue orb, as you've been told many times before, really is unique. And those of us celestials are having to come to terms with you guys. That is to say, how can we take advantage of these few human beings who are so dedicated and want to be in the service of Father? Fine. But as you've just been informed, you really need to be proved, and you will be proved. But there's no point in trying to prove anyone if your mind is closed and your heart is closed to any further possibilities on your behalf. Yes, there are 3 or 4 here now listening to what I am saying, and you have already decided in your own mind, but you need to feel it. This is what you really want, because you will be proved. We are at the beginning of this year, 2022. And by the end of this year, 2022, I can assure you, when you look back over this year, you will be astounded of what has taken place in such a short time, 12 months. So take the opportunities now that come to you, and they will come to you. Recognize them. Be careful. Make your decision very carefully, but it must be a decision irrevocable. Once you've made that decision, that's it. The die is cast, as you say. And there will be no going back. But you will still be proved. And some will fall by the wayside. But that will be no disgrace, not at all. You will still be recognized for your attempt. So this is what I want to say to all of you, and in fact this is all I wish to say to all of you. take the bull by the horns, as you like to say, but be very careful at the same time. All right. I thank this one for taking me taking this mission, this transmission, and I bid you all a very good afternoon. Thank you. Well, this is Lemo. Well, thank you very much, whoever you are. Thank you for those words of encouragement. Thank you. I'll just see if there's anyone else here that wants to come and see. Yes. This is Jesus. Well, I am so pleased to be able to come and join you at this moment, this very important moment here on another very important Lightline. It is true that Ron has been in conversation with me about many things over the months, really. But within the past 48 hours, or even less, certain things have come to the fore that have been necessary for Ron and I to have a chat about, so to speak. And you have just been informed, to some extent, of what has taken place as far as the conversation was concerned and why, and the reasons, etc. But I'm not going into that. I'm going to talk about you others. I know you all. I know what is in your mind and in your heart. There are some of you who are 100% with me and with the future missions. But there are others of you who have your doubts, not about the missions, but about your own capabilities. Well, I simply want to say you will never know until you try. You cannot throw in the towel before you even start. You've got to give these things your best shot. And then if you fail, okay, you fail. It is no disgrace. But it is a disgrace if you prefer to throw in the towel even before you start. Think about this very, very carefully. Obviously, you will be proven. I was proven when I was here, and I was not found wanting. Nobody can be found wanting if they are desirous about being about Father's business. Now, you all know that theoretically, but it must be proven physically, actually. Yes, I can see all of you now at this moment. Amen and Aaron, what you're going to do, what you think you want to do, the relationship that you are in, how it is going to affect it. These are difficult decisions, obviously, but it is only you that can make them. And it is not my desire or even Father's to coerce any of you. No, not at all. But remember, you have been led here throughout your lives now to be here at this moment. For what? To stop now? So I will repeat. Don't stop. Don't throw in the towel before you start. Keep your minds open now to new ideas, new thoughts that will come to you from your thought adjusters. and look at them and feel them and proceed. You will be tested, of course, yes. But more than half of you will be successful. And those of you who do not make a grade, as I say, it is no disgrace at all. On the contrary, you will be rewarded for and acknowledged for even attempting to do what you have been imposed to go for. This is all I have to say to you. This is Jesus, and I bid you all a very good afternoon. And thank you. Well, this is Lemuel. Thank you, Jesus, so much for those words. Very thought-provoking indeed. Thank you. Can I hand this back to you now, Ron? I don't sense anyone else here. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you, Lemuel. Deity absolute, Jesus, and unnamed individual. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to mute you, Lemuel.
Thank you.
This is Machiaventa Melchizedek. I have but a few words. It won't take long. It's this, Ron. It's up to us to provide the legalities as far as signatures are concerned. You know that, and you expect that. But the truth of the matter is the incarnations that we expect to deploy have to be very carefully handled. Your home is fine. It's getting there. All right. The truth of the matter is Urantia is in a horrible state in almost every situation. We are allowing that we must allow Racine and probably one or two others to meet with you in the flesh. We will do that with Dominic present. The truth of the matter is that individual must play an important role for you, particularly since you must make another transmission and translation into another state that is almost complete for you. For that reason, persons like Elise, Lemuel, Amethyst, and to a certain extent, Renee, will have to learn to deal with partial translations until we are sure what is working well with you, Ron. Meanwhile, resources will be implied primarily through the Racine Corporation, but it must go through the scenic route of the Magisterial Foundation for reasons we have discussed before, Ron. You are fully accepting of that and can manage the funds better there than in the Racine Corporation. That is correct. Truly. You will have your resources in your bank account the day that Attorney Ream out of Ottawa, Kansas, advises you that the patent is now in force and available. What else he may do is between you and him. But with that receipt of information, the cash will flow, the corporations will change hands, and we can begin a new era without Writers Blending or Archway Publishers. You have let it be known to the Planning Commission in the Magisterial Foundation you are no longer using self-publishing or those corporations ever again. We say hallelujah, they did their work, and now we have to do some more. For that reason, then, everyone, we see no other reason to perpetuate the Sunday Lightline today. And thank you for tuning in. We have 25 on the direct call today and 8 on streaming. It's a wonderful audience, and we thank you for your interest.